So I started out as a classroom teacher myself, and I felt financial stress personally. And so I went to study how to tackle that problem.
We actually found a consumer financing a $6 hamburger through Afterpay. And that was a huge moment where we realized BNPL, Buy Now, Pay Later, had evolved from financing big ticket items online to a staple in consumers' daily lives, financing daily goods like their gas, their groceries, and takeout.
I kept hearing from my friends that they couldn't find childcare programs. And I started doing research and found that it's actually a problem all over the country, all over the world.
What inspired me to create the company is that, sometimes I hear that impact investment or donations are risky. We don't really know what the impact is. But when you think about it, it's actually the opposite. And so not doing anything is dangerous.
I grew up in Brazil. Back in Brazil, my parents, they run a wholesale business where they sell toys to businesses. Basically, that inspired us to, through Slope, create a consumer-grade experience to help businesses like my parents and other businesses bring their B2B side of the business online.
So Plaid didn't only provide the infrastructure that we leverage and use, but it also provided the data and insights and tooling, allowing us to innovate at the cutting edge of consumer bill pay.
Plaid has enabled us to create some beautiful experiences that are really quick to connect to your bank accounts, for us to pull a lot of the banking data.
Plaid makes it really easy for parents to pay for childcare, and it makes it really easy for our providers to accept payments.
And Plaid has been our trusted partner in being able to serve our customers, our community base, by building automatic cash flow plans for them. And so as we grow further and further across the country, we trust Plaid to be able to support us by getting us access to the data that we need to run the product.
So we decided to partner with Plaid, and have been a happy customer for a pretty long time.
Hello, and welcome to Effects. Thank you so much for joining us today. We have a lot of updates that we're really excited to share with you shortly. In speaking with many of our customers, it's clear that the optimism and the energy in fintech is back. And I see it across all types and sizes of companies. From the very smallest, where we're seeing 65% more startups launching products powered by Plaid than we did just 12 months ago, to the very largest, where we're seeing major lenders and banks like Rocket and Citibank invest heavily in building out digital-first financial services with Plaid. We even see fintech optimism in companies that are not historically fintech companies, for example, in prop tech, with companies such as RealPage. And in the automotive industry, the leading direct-to-consumer car companies are investing in digital finance capabilities, as well as car sellers, such as Carvana. The fintechification of everything is happening everywhere. All of this growth is leading to consumers engaging with fintech more than they ever have before. We now see users linking an account to a Plaid-powered service 6 times every second. That's over 15.5 million accounts connected every month across all the incredible products that our customers have built. The growth of fintech is only going to accelerate. According to a recent Federal Reserve study, consumer demand for lending is expected to increase substantially throughout the rest of the year. According to the Merchant Risk Council, adopting bank-linked payments is now the #2 priority for merchants. And this fall, the CFPB's 1033 rule that strengthens a consumer's financial data right is expected to be codified into law. This will accelerate the shift towards open banking in the US and be a significant tailwind for the entire fintech industry globally. All this opportunity ahead also brings challenges. In a more complex landscape, it is increasingly difficult to manage risk. And in a world with AI and deepfakes, it is much harder to tackle fraud. I spend a lot of my time talking to our customers, and you often tell me about the different challenges that you face. You want to remove friction from your onboarding process, but you're also worried about fraudsters getting through. You want to expand the number of customers that you can sell your products to, but you're also worried about taking on users that are outside of your traditional risk models. You want to lower the cost of accepting payments, but you care about maintaining a high conversion rate, and you're worried about settlement risks. In short, you want to reduce friction while avoiding risk. Plaid is uniquely positioned to help you resolve this tension and to onboard more good users while keeping your risk levels low. For any individual fintech company, it's hard to assess the risk that a new user will create if you've never seen them before. You could, of course, build a model to try to do that, But the fact remains that you often have limited data on each person the first time you see them. It's hard to address fraud when you can't see a user's history and how they have interacted with many services in the past. But Plaid can address these challenges in a way that nobody else can, because Plaid is a network. Plaid is a network that has connected over 100 million consumers across 12,000 financial institutions and data partners to thousands of different fintech products. When using Plaid, you can access insights that no other platform can provide. Today, we're going to talk about how data and insights from our network can create the highest converting, most secure user experience. We can now accelerate onboarding by pairing trusted data from the Plaid network with other verified data sources so that your users can onboard in just one click with a very safe and secure process. We can help you expand the pool of borrowers that you lend to through the use of cash flow data and network-informed risk analysis so that you can make smarter lending decisions with more data available to you. The Plaid network allows us to offer individual account-level fraud signals, as well as fraud reports that our customers are contributing back into the Plaid network to give you a network-wide view of fraud indications. We can make bank payments into a credible substitute for credit cards by using network-based models to reduce settlement risk and create a seamless user experience that gets better with each payment that each user makes. Plaid network connections can provide fraud and risk signals that get more informed as more consumers use Plaid to connect to more of the services our customers provide. When you build with Plaid, the services that you are using get better every single day without you needing to do anything at all. Every product and feature that you'll hear about today is made better for you and your users by data and insights from the Plaid network. As your services expand globally, Plaid is right there ready to help you as well, so that you can have one partner across all of your global needs, across oceans and across borders. Today, we service the US, Canada, the UK, and 17 other countries throughout Europe, including the Nordics, and major companies with global footprints like Fair, Western Union, Capital on Tap, Kraken, and many more are all using Plaid to power their transatlantic services. Our ecosystem of partners is global too. We doubled the size of our partner ecosystem over the past year, bringing the total to over 300 across payments, credit, digital banking, systems integrators, and many more, including payments provider Adyen, who you're going to hear a lot more from a little bit later today. I'm so inspired by what all of you are building. You've created a movement out of fintech that is reshaping the global financial services industry. Our role at Plaid is to be there to support you every step of the way. We're thinking every single day about how our platform will allow you to capture the full opportunity of this unique moment and all the growth that's ahead. This is such a vibrant community of builders doing incredible things, and we're excited to be your partner on this journey. Now, let's dive in.
I'm thrilled to be here today to share with you what we've built and a glimpse of where we're going to keep driving your business and the industry forward. Just last week, I paid my dog walker with a few clicks on my phone. It never ceases to blow my mind how easy these things are today. That's because of all of the incredible products you have built. You are making people's lives better, and we could not be prouder to be your partner. To help even more people benefit from all of the great products you've built, we continue to invest heavily in our core account connectivity capabilities, so that no matter where consumers bank, they can fund their accounts, move money, and verify their identities and income seamlessly. They do that via Plaid Link. And today, Link is used by more than 1 in 3 Americans. We deliver industry-leading coverage across 12,000 financial institutions and are constantly adding more. And over the years, we've pushed the industry towards a more reliable API-first connection. And now a vast majority of our traffic today is on OAuth and bank APIs. We've also pushed the industry ahead with our core exchange product, which makes it easier for any institution, no matter how large or small, to build their own APIs to plug straight into our network. Core Exchange has made API-first access possible for over 7,000 financial institutions. We're constantly building and delivering new products on top of this powerful network so that you can continue to innovate and bring incredible experiences to your customers. The products we build are based on your feedback, your roadmaps, and your challenges. Last year, that led to a ton of new products, features, and improvements shipping across our entire platform. Here are 3. First, to help make it easier for you to reach more users more quickly, we introduced low-code capabilities like fully hosted versions of our account linking and identity verification. This makes it easy for you to offer link and identity verification via a simple URL. No front-end app or integration work is required. Second, to help you take advantage of new, lower-cost instant payment rails, we enabled both RTP and FedNow for payouts directly with Plaid Transfer. Finally, Plaid Signal is our solution to help you better manage ACH risk. We've added new capabilities to help you more easily manage risk outputs via the Plaid dashboard. Our new AI-powered rule builder makes it possible for data scientists and mere mortals to configure your risk threshold. These just scratch the surface of what we've delivered. As I mentioned before, your feedback shapes our roadmap, so please keep it coming. Breadth and depth of our data platform is just a part of the equation. You also want to turn interested consumers to loyal customers, and that's conversion. Every incremental improvement we make to Link means more users for your business, so we obsess over every detail to help you improve conversion. But we're not done. Just as we built the standard in account linking for fintech, today we're bringing the next generation of security and transparency to open finance so that you can get an unmatched combination of phenomenal user experience and best-in-class security. Our goal is to build stronger protections for consumers against fraud, improve transparency, while simplifying the account linking experience. Based on our initial testing, we're seeing these more secure experiences actually lift conversion up to 30%. We're still iterating, but let me give you a sneak peek of what we've been working on. Hundreds of millions of people use Plaid. On average, each of these users has connected to 3 to 5 apps on our network. Our focus is providing a more streamlined, returning user experience with supported institutions. We offer users who opt in with their phone number a faster, more secure linking experience. This streamlined experience integrates security best practices, including passkeys, device authentication, and real-time risk analysis. We've been introducing passkeys to allow users to authenticate using biometrics like Face or Touch ID. To give it a spin, upgrade to our latest mobile SDKs for early access. Verified users can see the financial accounts they've previously linked with Plaid, and then choose which ones to share with an app. This only takes a few clicks. At the same time, we continue to drive the industry forward with greater transparency for users. We've added more context around what data they're sharing and how that data is being used to power the specific app and service. Transparency is critical to building and maintaining trust. The great news is that our focus on building consumer trust is paying off. According to YouGov, a global research and analytics company, Plaid is by far the most trusted way of linking accounts to new services for consumers. Simple, secure, and transparent. A radically improved account linking experience, and it also delivers better conversion. That is what you get out of the box with the Plaid network. Okay, that is cool, but let us show you how we're taking it to the next level. Because of Plaid's expanded platform and network, we have rare opportunities to deliver integrated product experiences that transcend the sum of their parts. A true 1 + 1 = 3 opportunity. Pairing the secure returning user experience I just shared and our identity verification, we've created a game-changing onboarding solution. To tell you more about that, here's Alain.
Across all the customers I speak to, every single one of you has entire teams dedicated to optimizing sign-up flows. Seriously, everyone is trying to squeeze out an extra 0.1%, and it's increasingly hard. It's hard because you're fundamentally fighting against the laws of physics. Well, UX physics at least. There's only so much you can do by A/B testing your copy, changing the colors of your buttons, reordering your inputs, and sending out drip campaigns. And it's been like this for years. We've been working on something to address this. Something transformational that changes the very physics of onboarding. Introducing Plaid Layer, the internet's fastest financial onboarding experience. Okay, so I know that's a confident thing to say, so let me prove it to you. Just by collecting a phone number from your user, you get all of the information needed to verify identity, link a financial account, and onboard a user. You receive trusted data shared by tens of millions of people who have already opted into our network. With Layer, your users get started instantly. Companies like Possible Finance and Empower are already using Layer today, and they're seeing meaningful conversion improvements. From early testing, Layer slashes the time it takes to onboard a user end-to-end by 87%. Users are verified, link a bank account, and are onboarded in less than a minute. Let me show you how Layer works. It all starts when you submit your customer's phone number. And we immediately check for two things. 1, is this person in the Plaid network? And 2, do they meet your unique criteria for onboarding? Do you need just your customer's full name and address? Or maybe you need a birthday, social security number, and a checking account. If, and only if, your user's saved information meets your criteria, they see the option to sign up instantly with Plaid. To provide the fastest experience humanly possible, we're doing something new. As your user's typing in their phone number, we preload Layer in the background and figure out if your user's eligible for Layer in a fraction of a second. That way, the second your user types in the last digit of their phone number, Layer pops up. And if they're not eligible, they go through your existing sign-up process, exactly as it exists today. The key idea here is that only users who get an accelerated experience will ever even see Layer. So, your users get a faster experience, and you get complete data from the get-go, improving conversion. But Layer doesn't just get more users through your sign-up process. Layer gets you more trusted users. Think about how archaic sign-up is today. Users are typing untrusted data into your sign-up forms, and you have to reevaluate it every single time, whether it's a harmless typo or Frank Abagnale up to no good. With Layer, you get back pre-validated data that's been seen before in our network. And just like our core account linking experience, Layer's powered by device authentication and real-time risk analysis to combat fraud and proactively block abuse. We verify that the user still possesses the phone line associated with their saved data. Then, we pair this with mobile carrier checks, device IDs, and risk signals, like recent SIM swaps, port outs, or the use of Tor. Based on this, the success criteria are adjusted dynamically for each and every customer. Layer provides trusted KYC-grade data to help you meet compliance requirements. Users have the ability to review, edit, and confirm their information to submit for your verification process in compliance with the BSA. Also, you can bring your own KYC to Layer. Use your existing KYC provider behind the scenes, or send it to Plaid identity verification for a one-stop shop. But what would a Plaid product be without linking a bank account? You can tell Layer which account is most relevant to your use case. Want the most recently linked one? Or maybe the checking account that's most frequently linked. Layer automatically presents the option that matches your needs. Just like with their identity data, people can also switch the financial account that they choose to share. We want Layer to be available to as many of your users as possible, so our SDKs are updated and ready to go on iOS, Android, mobile web, and desktop. What we just showed you is how Layer can help you onboard your users. We're already hard at work building the next versions of Layer to help you accelerate resident screening, underwriting, payments, and so much more. And we're excited to show you later this year. We believe that Layer is the new standard for onboarding, and it's available to all of you starting today. But onboarding isn't just about the user experience. It's also about successfully onboarding good users. So now let's talk about anti-fraud. We started here with Plaid Identity Verification and Monitor, our ID verification and AML watchlist screening solution. Today, more than 600 companies across financial services, retail, prop tech, and social media are using these solutions to onboard good users and weed out bad actors. Since then, we've expanded our anti-fraud suite, adding Plaid Beacon last year. It's our anti-fraud consortium, open to anyone in the Plaid network. Beacon enables secure sharing of fraud data to identify stolen and synthetic identities, as well as account takeovers. To date, Beacon has helped our customers protect millions of consumers. But we know that you can get rich insights to prevent fraud through bank accounts and their connections to Plaid. But our customers don't have visibility into that today. So we added it to Beacon, and here's what it looks like. We scan over 40 attributes in the Plaid network for bank accounts that have been linked to you via Plaid. We look at risk indicators, like account status, to show if a user's bank account's been closed or restricted. We also look at the number of connections with Plaid in the last 30 days. Here's someone with a standard number of connections, which we would consider as low risk. We'll show you if an account's IP address is jumping all over the place. That kind of erratic location behavior typically doesn't look too legit, unless you have a private jet that I don't know about. Lastly, Beacon can help you identify unexpected correlation between accounts within your existing customer base. See how all of these users are connected in multiple ways? Something fishy's going on. Beacon helps you find these connections so that you can investigate more deeply and make more informed fraud decisions than ever before. Today, our customers have uncovered that 3 to 6% of their user base have unexpected correlations. We're also doing a session later today on how you can level up your fraud prevention strategy with Beacon, so be sure to check it out. The combo of Layer and Beacon provides a crazy good 1-2 punch of user experience and anti-fraud, something that's transformational and doesn't exist anywhere else today. All made possible by the Plaid network. Now, let's hear from Emilie Choi, COO and President of Coinbase, on how they continue to reinvent their user onboarding process.
Today, I'm thrilled to have Emilie Choi, the President and COO of Coinbase, join us for a conversation on all things crypto. Emilie, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me, Zach. I'm excited to be here.
So you started at Coinbase, give or take 6 years ago. Crypto was a totally different world then. Coinbase was a totally different company. Tell me what it was like back in the early days and how that growth journey has been for you.
I have been at a bunch of consumer internet companies. Most recently, I was at LinkedIn for 9 years. And I started to get interested in the disruption of the traditional financial system. I was looking around and I saw Coinbase, and it just felt so intuitive to think about digitizing the financial system, things like making sure things could be 24/7, reducing fees, global, not local, all these different elements of it that were compelling to me.
So every startup is a bit of a roller coaster. Coinbase is kind of that on a totally different scale. You have crypto winters, you have boom times. How do you manage the team through that? How do you keep people motivated through all that?
I think the quote that we typically use is, it's never as bad as it seems and it's never as good as it seems. And I think that it's a great mantra for life. It's easy to get overly exuberant when things are peaking. It's easy to get down when things are bottomed.
So one of the things that I've always been impressed about Coinbase is that Coinbase has just emerged as this kind of continually shining light of positivity in a crypto industry where a lot of companies have struggled. There's been a lot of regulatory pressure and so forth. Tell me about the journey that you went on to legitimize not just the company, but the entire industry.
Crypto is kind of considered this libertarian movement. And they actually leaned into things like compliance and regulatory and making sure that we always did the right things with KYC and so on. We focused very heavily on security. They recognize the importance of a sound, safe financial system, and that when you're handling people's money, you have to take those steps and measures. And I think that is what has held us through all the ups and downs of the industry, as some of the peers offshore have taken steps to kind of just skirt by the rules and so on, while we were kind of going steadier and making the right investments. And I think that's what has contributed to us being hopefully a beacon in the industry.
So I've always been impressed with the way that you are able to speak externally about kind of the high complexity things that you're dealing with internally, be that your culture or be that your beliefs on the crypto industry. I find that in fintech, it's often hard to talk about kind of policy matters publicly, but you've done an excellent job doing it. How have you built that practice into the company?
We're all focused on the mission of increasing economic freedom in the world. We've had quite a few policy battles. And I think the old playbook for financial institutions is, try to have backdoor conversations, try to go to the mainstream media and make your case, all of that kind of thing. And one of the things that we talked about was, why don't we just say what we're really thinking and what our legal case is or what our policy case is and why people should care about crypto, why we think that there needs to be updated legislation and so on. And so we kind of just said, let's just go direct to our user base. Let's go direct to politicians through our own channels. And I think it's actually become a paradigm for what others want to do and model themselves after. So it's been really fun to do.
I love it. It's a big inspiration, and I think a lot of companies can learn from that. So Coinbase has set the standard for what new user onboarding looks like in crypto, but you've certainly challenged the broader financial services industry as well. I remember, I think, the best Super Bowl ad of all time, which was just a QR code bouncing around a screen, and you got an immense number of user signups then. How do you think about user onboarding? How do you balance kind of the need to onboard a lot of users with the need to avoid risk?
Given the very volatile nature of crypto, we have to think about how, when during those moments, we can actually onboard all those people. We can do it in a seamless way, but also stick to our premises of high security, good KYC, and so on. So the Super Bowl ad that you referred to, which I'm super proud of, it was one of those seminal moments for us. It was the first Super Bowl ad we've ever done. I think we got like 40 million households and we had a high conversion. It was one of those moments that we were really proud of. We really have to make sure that we're prepared to onboard those users as quickly and seamlessly as possible. But again, that we're focused on good KYC, good security, making sure that we're looking for potential risk, fraud, and so on. And it's one of the reasons that we love partnering with Plaid is the onboarding experience that we have by partnering with you is so seamless. And so we're able to scale that very rapidly. That's why Plaid is one of our #1 partners for onboarding.
Well, it's been a fun journey, and we so appreciate the partnership and all the feedback. When working in crypto, we know the standard is impossibly high. Talk to me about kind of the institutional side of your business. In many senses, getting kind of the large institutions to be a part of the Coinbase platform is a huge part of the important long-term outcome for you. How do you think about this side, and kind of how do you balance the consumer complexity on the one hand with the institutional kind of expectations on the other?
Our bread and butter is consumer, and that's what the whole company was predicated upon, this large base of consumers who wanted to interact with crypto in some way. We did recognize that at some point, institutions would want to come into the mix. And I think that the last year has been really a story of institutions, primarily with the approval of the Bitcoin ETFs, which has been a huge, huge thing for the industry. And Coinbase is really proud we're powering most of the custody for those institutions. I think the big thing you have to think about when you just zoom out 10,000-foot level is that you have some of the stodgiest, most traditional, old school financial institutions who are very conservative about the way that they allocate their assets, recommending 1% to 5% in some cases of your assets being in crypto because they think that there's huge potential for digital assets. And so it was just this moment of approval. It was a moment of validation. Institutions drive a ton of volume for crypto and just the traditional financial market. So it was just kind of a really momentous time for us. And I think it's the beginning of something much bigger.
I guess going back to this conversation we had a little bit earlier about the roller coaster ride, you had a lot of big institutions come out very against crypto. Now they've changed their tune. They're really leaning into it. Many of them are launching their own desks. And it's got to be this amazing opportunity for you to partner with the broader ecosystem and really grow the business.
Yeah, I look at it as this incredible learning opportunity for both sides. We have, frankly, a lot to learn from TradFi. Those institutions have been doing this for hundreds of years, and they have incredible departments related to risk and KYC and thinking about AML and all these different things, and also just the opportunities, the growth opportunities within traditional finance, including financing and so on. And then I think from us, they're learning that digital assets are a compelling new asset form for them to offer to customers. They're getting excited about the possibilities of what this can open up to them in terms of digitizing new assets. And so it's fun to see.
So shifting just for a moment to fintech infrastructure, of course, this is what we do. What do you wish were different about the financial system? What do you wish were easier to access? Anything top of mind for you there?
I think that the traditional financial system has elements that feel kind of clunky and outdated. So things like instant settlement should be no-brainers. Things like global access should be no-brainers. Things like onboarding should be more seamless than they are today. It still takes a few manual steps sometimes to kind of get to the right place. It feels like there's just elements that can get a little bit better now that we're in 2024. It feels like 24/7 trading and so on, that just feels so obvious. So I think it's more about, we know the things that can be improved, how can we just accelerate them? Sometimes the clunkiness of local and geographic regulation can kind of hamper some of the great stuff that can happen between different countries and between different parts of the world. So I'm just excited to see how we continue to kind of push what's possible.
So we're in 2024 now. Fast forward to 2034. What's different and how has crypto fully changed the financial system? Are we doing USDC transactions instead of ACH? Something else?
Yeah. A dream would be that you're doing virtually all your financial transactions in crypto and you don't even know it. It's become just a layer of technology in the same way that TCP/IP and things like that have powered the internet. And you don't even realize what you're doing, but everything is just working so much faster and better. And that can span everything from the way that you do transactions and trades to the way that you stake to the way that you actually develop on different blockchain platforms such as Base.
Moving money on the weekends included.
Yes, exactly.
I'm excited for that
exactly.
one. What's next for you? How do you think things will play out for the rest of 24? How do you think the next couple of years will land?
The good news about Coinbase is we have spent so much time building what I call an all-weather company that we're prepared for every scenario.
Inspiring words. I couldn't agree more. Emilie, thank you so much for being with us today. This is a great conversation.
Thank you, Zach. It was a pleasure.
$100 million. Over 100 million adults in the US have less than stellar credit or don't have a credit score at all. Think about that for a second. For lenders, that means 100 million potential customers that are underserved today. And many of them are creditworthy, with steady incomes and careful expense budgeting, but they don't have a way to prove it. We are changing this with cash flow underwriting. Potential borrowers want to share a more complete picture of their financial lives, and lenders need smarter ways to process that information. That's why we've taken our decade of expertise and the unmatched insights from the Plaid network to launch the Plaid Consumer Report. Before I get into it, let me share some context. Having partnered with over 1,000 lenders, including many of you in the audience, we know that you want real-time cash flow data for underwriting. You want to automate loan applications and expand your applicant pool, driving growth while managing risk. But you also need to minimize friction and spend more time acting on data, not just analyzing it. We hear you loud and clear. And that's why, starting today, you'll get ready-built cash flow insights and attributes to incorporate directly into your underwriting. We're super excited about this, not only because it'll help you acquire more borrowers and better manage risk, but it's also an important step forward for consumers, giving them an opportunity to tell their financial stories beyond traditional credit scores. Now let me show you. So Ascend is a lender that recently launched a new credit card. I decide to apply. Ascend already has my personal information because I've used the app before. And I submit. My application gets processed. In the background, Ascend pulls my credit score and sees I have a 680, below their approval threshold of 700. But I don't see a decline. Why? Ascend recently started using the Plaid Consumer Report as an option when applicants don't meet their initial cutoff. So I'm asked if I want to share more information to move forward. Since I previously used Plaid to link an account, and my financial institution supports our streamlined onboarding flow, I can complete my account linking in just a few clicks. I'm approved. Now a lot happened there behind the scenes, so let me explain. Once I've linked my bank account, Ascend requests Plaid Consumer Report data and insights. In a typical scenario, the process I'm about to walk through is automated for real-time decisioning via API. But for the purposes of this demo, you'll be seeing our dashboard. This is our no-code solution that loan officers can use for manual review. So here's what the loan officer sees starting with my application in the Plaid Consumer Report dashboard. We navigate to accounts. In a standard underwriting flow, lenders like Ascend will assess the identity risk of the applicant. This means double-checking that my name and other information match between the linked bank account and my credit application that I just submitted. Ascend also wants to do some basic checks to determine if I can make my monthly payments. They review balances and transaction history. Next, Ascend wants to dive deeper and verify my income. They want to know where my income is coming from, which jobs, what types of income, how much, both gross and net, how frequent are the paychecks. They review all of this information, summarized into insights and available in the dashboard. Under the hood, these income insights are generated by models built on top of the Plaid network and are based on Plaid's years of experience powering verifications for lenders. Last piece here, Ascend checks a few more insights to finalize their review. They see the cash score. It's like a credit score in that it predicts my likelihood of repaying, but unlike a traditional credit score, it's based on real-time cash flow data. We're also developing hundreds of attributes, looking at account connection activity across the Plaid network. These include indicators of ability to pay, like engagement with wealth management apps, or signs of potential loan stacking behavior if we see abnormally high engagement with lending apps over a short period of time. Lenders are excited to get started with the Plaid Consumer Report because they see opportunities for faster, more automated applications. They want to expand their applicant pool without adding risk. They want to improve customer experiences after the loan is extended or the credit card is opened. Our early customers are already processing thousands of applications each week with the Consumer Report, and incredible businesses are implementing the Consumer Report into their underwriting. Cash flow data has never been more accessible or more actionable than it is now through the Plaid Consumer Report. Check out our deep dive session later where you can learn more about the Consumer Report and how lenders are using it today. And now you'll hear from one of our customers that is driving innovation in credit and underwriting, Libor Michalek, president of Affirm.
I'm thrilled to welcome Libor Michalek, president from Affirm, to join us in conversation today. Thank you again, Libor. It's great to see you again.
Thank you, Jen. I really appreciate you having me here. Very excited to chat about Plaid and Affirm and how we've been working together.
Thank you so much for being a partner. You know, one of the things I've been impressed with in the conversations that you and I have had has been your sort of career journey. Talk to me a little bit about how did you come to Affirm? What was that journey like?
The genesis was really rooted in 4 enabling technologies. So as we were exploring ideas about building a product, that, honest financial products to improve people's lives, the genesis came from how we thought about what it would take to create point-of-sale lending, access to credit in real time. And at that time, in 2012, it was really 4 technologies that were coming together. It was mobile. Everybody has a computer in their pocket. That became a thing. E-commerce, where really it became normal, not just accepted, but practical to shop online. Machine learning, just the ability to model data in real time and really for us to be able to understand fraud and credit worthiness and pricing at the point of sale, and data. The access to data about consumer finances really allowed us to be able to apply those models in the moment at the point of checkout while the customer's waiting and come back with a decision about what is this purchase going to cost all in. And that was the most important aspect for us, was that sense of control, that ability for the customer to know all in pricing.
So Libor, you and Max, the CEO of Affirm, have worked together previously. Can you give a little more context to sort of that and sort of the chemistry that happens there?
We actually went to school together.
Yeah.
So I had met him at school. We traveled in the same circle of engineering friends over time. And we worked together. Previously, I was his CTO at the company he built after PayPal.
Yeah.
Obviously, he thinks we work together well. I also think that. He called me up and was describing to me what it is he was trying to do. And as he, over a few discussions, explained it a little bit more and more as the idea really took shape, for me it was that actually sounds interesting. Not something I'd ever thought I'd work on in finance. Really, this Affirm was the first financial product I've built. And this simplicity of delivering a product that really changes the dynamic between the consumer and the provider of financing of credit was really exciting. The idea that the product was aligned with the interest of the consumer, where when the consumer does well, when they get what they want, when the expected happens, we share in the positive outcome. And if they get the unexpected, and if we get it wrong, we both are sharing in the negative outcome. And that real alignment of outcomes between parties was like, okay, that sounds actually kind of interesting. In some ways, it's simplistic, but for me, it felt like a game changer.
Sometimes the most simple things are actually the most powerful.
Yeah.
Okay, but you really, Affirm really pioneered the whole notion of buy now, pay later here in the United States. Like, how did you get it off the ground? And how did you know when you had product market fit?
It took a while of iterating around the ideas that, the first version of the product really was, at its core, what we do today. We put together a single offering of a customer puts in their phone number, puts in their name into checkout, into the purchase option. You can pay for this over time, pay over 6 months. This is how much each payment is. This is what the all-in cost is going to be. And would you like this thing?
Yeah.
And it really took off from there. I think that's, as you said earlier, that simplicity really drove adoption. The merchants understood it as something that improves their business, drives conversion, drives affordability for their customers. And it clicked with customers. We have customers telling us from the first moment to this day, they love the sense of control, they love the understanding, they love using the product.
Yeah. There really is nothing like an excited or happy customer. You get the unhappy ones as well, and that's part of the job, it's part of the feedback, it's part of the evolution as well. But it's astounding to me the power and the impact of what Affirm has been able to build and sort of the portfolio of products and offerings that you've built. Talk to me a little bit about that evolution and sort of, what is most exciting for you next?
So, as we've built out the surface area of capabilities, starting at the point of sale, directly integrating with merchants, providing different ways to integrate with the merchants, things like our light integration through a virtual card, and then our partnerships with platforms like Shopify, which has been a wonderful relationship, working relationship, which we've really enjoyed, building out the surface area over which we're able to deliver this product to merchants as well as to customers, has really been the driver for us for the last decade. Going into the future, we kind of expect that to continue. We continue to get that feedback. For us, probably the big next frontier is offline.
Yeah. I'll say for us at Plaid, it's been a privilege to be a partner with Affirm on this journey, and we've really appreciated the work that we've been able to do together. I'd love to hear your perspective on the partnership and really the evolution of the relationship.
So, like I said, part of the impetus for the company really was that idea of access to real-time financial data. And obviously, Plaid has been a great partner in that since almost the beginning of the company. We've started working together really early in the company's life where, access, especially to understanding cash flow and balances of customers of their accounts, and being able to model that as a part of our understanding of a consumer's ability to repay, what do their finances look like? And that's really was the basis of us working together. And that's really expanded as our product portfolio has expanded. As we've tried new products, new ideas, obviously Plaid has also been there, continuing to move forward with new innovations. And we've continued to pick those up. Last time I checked, there's 5 different areas of our product where we work together on very specific experiences, on specific data and understanding and capabilities. And from my perspective, it's been a wonderful partnership, and I can expect to continue to see it grow.
Yeah. Well, and thank you, because it's been phenomenal for us to be able to partner with you as you continue to innovate, driving us forward, driving us to push our innovation to meet your needs, and then your willingness to work and give us feedback in that process has been incredibly valuable.
Thank you.
I would be remiss if I didn't ask you at this point, what feedback do you have for us? What would you like to see on our roadmap?
From our perspective, using that data to underwrite a customer is really powerful. And that continues to be really important to us. But as we think about how can we best help customers, it's also the ability to give them feedback, to be able to explain to them the decisions around credit that we're offering them or not offering them. And to be able to do that in a way that to the consumer is actionable and useful and relevant is for that data to be as up to date as possible. This is why we're not making you an offer, or this is why this is the amount we're approving you for. Our ability to say, because XYZ, about your cash flow, about your, about the state of your finances, if that's wrong, that's a pretty poor experience. So the ability to get that right, for that to be accurate, for that to be timely, is critical for us to be able to build out that functionality.
Yeah, totally makes sense. And I think we're very much aligned in how we're thinking about our roadmap and continuing to push the boundaries of what we're able to do in terms of time and time to information, and then also that transparency. It's that sort of transparency that is critical to enable you to be able to build that trust with your users, and we want to make sure we're doing everything we can to enable that.
That's awesome.
Yeah, you as president lead the engineering product design functions within Affirm. You've built your career really as an engineer. We've got an audience here of people who are early potentially in their career as product managers or engineers or entrepreneurs who are just starting their companies. What advice do you have for them?
I think there's multiple aspects to it. I think that's actually really important is if you're going to put years of effort into getting better at the craft, if you're going to put in years of effort to build something, you have to be excited about it on multiple different axes.
Yeah.
For me personally, as an engineer by training and at heart, it has to be technology driven. Technology has to be the unlock. It has to be the thing that is going to enable that product to exist. Primarily because I want to feel like the thing I'm contributing matters to the team and to what we're building. And probably most importantly, the team itself.
Yeah.
These are the people you're going to be spending day in and day out with, but they're also going to be the people you're learning from, right? You learn by interacting, you learn by teaching, you learn by osmosis. Are these the people you want to be with every day, learning new things and developing your career?
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us. As always, it's an absolute pleasure to spend time with you. Really appreciate your partnership and look forward to continuing to working together.
Thank you, Jen.
Businesses we talk to every day, from merchants to billers to payments platforms, are all looking to find new ways to lower the cost of payments, improving their margin. That's why we've seen a real acceleration in Pay by Bank in the US, particularly around use cases like bill pay, digital subscriptions, and wallet-funded payments. And this is happening faster than we expected. In fact, adopting bank-linked payments is now the #2 priority for merchants. So, what is Pay by Bank and why are companies flocking towards it? Pay by Bank is simply paying for goods or services directly from a bank account, usually using the local bank rail. And it's a lot cheaper than alternatives. But if it saves you so much money, why aren't more companies using it today? Well, to get this right, there are 2 things companies need to solve for. First, you need to make sure the experience will actually be adopted by your customers. And second, you need to be able to manage the risk of returns. We've got lots of updates cooking on how we can help you to manage settlement risk. Keep an ear out for more news later this year. But today, I want to focus on how we can help you to solve the first problem. Getting consumers to adopt bank payments requires a seamless user experience that exceeds their checkout expectations. That's why we're helping you do that through Plaid's new Pay by Bank offerings, which not only lowers the cost of payments by 40%, but also increases your payment success. Today, I'm excited to show you not 1, but 2 brand new experiences designed to finally make Pay by Bank as easy as paying by card. These new experiences are optimized for your checkout and are built to bring you high conversion rates that maximize your adoption and, as a result, your cost savings. So here's a payments experience for Carsurance, an insurance company where I'm paying for my policy. Insurance policies are recurring, so it's an ideal use case for Pay by Bank. In this screen, you see the checkout flow where a user would typically enter their personal information to get started. For this payment flow, Carsurance has 2 embedded components to choose between: They could use our context-aware embedded checkout experience, and that surface allows you to bring link within your checkout page, enabling your user to search, be recognized, or even experience your rewards to choose Pay by Bank. And the other option is our dynamic button, which is built with the same context-aware capabilities. It'll display incentives, recognizable bank logos, or other copy relevant to educate the consumer on the convenience of Pay by Bank with Plaid. Carssurance chose the embedded component to optimize their checkout for Pay by Bank adoption. We've seen about 40% more users get through this flow in some of our early research. Now, because I've previously connected my accounts with a Plaid-powered app, I'm prompted with the faster, more seamless account linking flow. With Plaid, you're not just getting the best user experience, you're also getting the best adoption with the most recognizable Pay by Bank experience in just a few taps. Once I choose my preferred account, I can move forward with paying with my bank. Each month moving forward, this information will be saved with my insurance company for automated payments. Adding this embedded component is also extremely easy. All you have to do is copy this code snippet from our docs, and we'll dynamically fill the module with the most relevant institutions. No matter your checkout page, you can customize how big or small you want this embedded module to be. Now, not every checkout flow works the same. Let's take a look at another example. My cat Toby recently destroyed my couch, and I've been saving up for another one. So I'm going to buy a new couch and a matching coffee table at Tabby Antique. The checkout flow is a lot more streamlined than the insurance company, so it made sense for Tabby Antique to choose our dynamic button. Plaid can give you signals to decide whether to dynamically show or hide this button based on whether your customer is likely to get a streamlined authentication experience. And because I've already saved my account to Plaid, I see an option for me to pay with my bank account. Tabby Antique is also offering a 1% discount for users to Pay by Bank, so I choose this option. And just like before, I get a super simple payment experience. And there we go. Toby's new scratching post, my new couch is on its way. Sweet. So if you're like the companies I speak to every day, you know that you need a new payment method that is cost-effective, high-performing, with an experience that is at least on par with, if not better than, traditional methods. And here are a few ways we're doing that for you. First, we're helping to address ease of use. With over 100 million users who have used Plaid Link to connect their financial accounts, not only is Link a recognizable and seamless user experience, it's also trusted. Second, it's about ease of settlement. You want reliable payments. Because of our network strength, we can also offer machine learning risk products like Plaid Signal and Insights that protect both consumers and businesses. Signal helps you to de-risk bank payment settlements so that you can transact with confidence, as if ACH is instant. Signal is used by companies like Robinhood to accelerate ACH and reduce risk. Using Plaid's streamlined account linking solution combined with our risk and money movement solutions, you can offer bank payments that work like cards. You can make real-time decisions and be confident that approved transactions will settle. Lastly, it's about ease of integration. We know that you're working with a variety of payment providers today, so whether you're working directly with Plaid or your preferred payments provider, we've got you. We've now built a native integration with Adyen to make offering Pay by Bank just a flip of the switch via their payment stack. A number of Adyen merchants are going live this month. Keep an eye out for gym memberships, insurance payments, and software subscriptions accepting Pay by Bank very soon. You can start using the embedded and dynamic button today. See our docs for more details. We've got a session later today to tell you more about how you can get started with Plaid's Pay by Bank solution, so don't forget to sign up. Next up, Trevor Nies, SVP and Global Head of Digital Strategy at Adyen, will join us to tell you more about the future of Pay by Bank.
Hi everyone, I'm Tamara Romanek and I lead partnerships at Plaid. I'm very excited to have with me today Trevor Nies, SVP and Global Head of Digital Strategy for Adyen. Trevor is leading Adyen's Pay by Bank initiatives in the United States and is the executive sponsor for the partnership with Plaid. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Tamara.
So Trevor, I'd love to ask you a little bit about your journey and what brought you to Adyen.
I've been on a payments journey for about 20 years now. And I remember when I was at Microsoft, a question came up to me. And it was, how can we process payments for Xbox outside the US? me know nothing about payments was thinking, oh, this is easy. We'll just do credit card payments. We'll use our same provider and that'll work everywhere around the world. But little did I know that it turns out that not everybody outside the US wants to use a credit card. And so I really learned a lot about the complexities around payments. And so as part of that, I took over managing all of our payment provider relationships, our optimization, how to improve performance, how to reduce cost, and also our risk management system. So really combating fraud on all of our services. But at some point, I came to this stage in my career where I really asked myself, how can I contribute more to the ecosystem, to the industry? And Adyen was a natural progression, natural place to go to have that opportunity, to have an ability to represent merchants, thousands of voices in this industry, and find ways to create new customer experiences, new innovation for our merchants and their consumers. I couldn't be happier with the choice on coming to Adyen.
So Trevor, at Adyen, you talk to a lot of merchants every day. I am sure you learn a lot about their key priorities, and I'm just curious, how does Pay by Bank fit in with those priorities?
They all say there's 3 things that they're focusing their energy on that we can help them with. The first one is approval rates. Anytime a customer pulls out their payment method, it needs to just work. And the second thing is our subscription merchants. Every month that they bill, they want to make sure that that payment method works because the customer, they're not present at that time. So they got to make sure that it just works behind the scenes so their service doesn't get interrupted. And the third one is cost and how to continue to reduce cost. Coming out of the pandemic, that's been just a major focus that all of our merchants have really been spending a lot of their time and energy on. And so when you think about those 3 things, Pay by Bank is a beautiful fit because it addresses every single one of those. And from the performance and the churn perspective, the really nice thing about bank payment methods is the average American holds on to their bank account for 17 years. And it turns out cards, on the other hand, are recycled every 2 or 3 years. And so you can naturally see where anytime you have friction, a change in a payment method, you have a chance to lose that particular customer's payment instrument to work every single time. And then on the cost side of the equation, it's 40%, oftentimes even more, savings from a card. And so those 3 things, it's exactly what our merchants are looking for. Pay by Bank is just a really nice fit for it.
That's great. And I think offering a very diversified payment set is super important. And especially with the younger generation, it feels like so many of them are keen to spend within their means, especially the Gen Z and the millennial audiences. So I think it's really great for merchants to be thinking about extending the methods into Pay with Bank.
Yeah, and I think that's right. And yeah, our whole goal is to really provide our merchants and their consumers with ubiquity, with the payment types that their customers want. And if it's Pay by Bank, if it's wallets, if it's buy now, pay later, whatever it is, we want to provide it to them. And so we see demand now for this new payment method in the US, Pay by Bank. And it's always fascinating to me because the US is actually really behind on payments. We always have been. We lead the world in so many different areas, but payments. But the common theme amongst all of them is bank payment methods are either behind the wallets, behind these instruments, or the leading instrument as well.
Yeah, and the user experience is going to be very critical in making sure that as they go through the flow, they can trust it and it's expected. And as it's repeated, it's familiar to them. So I fully agree with you. The user experience is going to be our best build together in bringing this solution to life.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Trevor, in the US specifically, we've been talking about Pay with Bank for years. Do you think now is really the time? And why do you think so, if it is?
Yeah, I actually think we have a perfect storm here. I mean, I talked earlier about merchants, why they're really demanding it, why they're pushing for it. So you have that side of the equation now, which is perfect. From a customer perspective, we know, and you mentioned it earlier, you're talking about the younger generation, they don't care about credit. They don't care about rewards like you or I do, right? They probably grew up seeing their parents always owing credit, paying these horrible bills every month, high interest rates. They want to pay within their means. And so we see that younger generation just a perfect candidate for this. But we also see a big trend now where it's more debit instruments versus credit. So all that's pointing to the fact that there's an opportunity to use banking instruments now with customers. And then that third piece is around friction. And this is really where Plaid's coming in, done an amazing job on removing that friction. Because now you no longer have to find your checkbook, get the routing number, the checking account number, enter it multiple times, and then even worse, do the 2 random deposits, wait 2 days, did it show up my account, did it not show up my account? It's just a horrible experience. That's never gonna work. But now, again, with Plaid, that friction has been removed. And so the fact that you can just log in into your bank, simple, one easy little step, and it turns out more people know their banking credentials, of course I hope so, than their credit card number, makes it even easier. So when you consider the merchant demand, customers are willing to use it, and that friction now is trivial.
Yeah.
We're really set up to have success here with that payment type.
Yeah, I think we've all learned a lot, right, on how we can do this better and make it better for the entire ecosystem. The infrastructure is ready, and so people should dive in. Why was it Plaid that you chose to partner with and engage on this journey?
It was actually a really simple decision because we really needed a partner who's going to have the broadest and most trusted network for all financial services in the US. And Plaid has that. Nobody else has as much scale or breadth. I mean, Plaid has 12,000 connections today with banks and credit unions, 8,000 plus apps that are running on it, and it serves millions of consumers. But it's not just that, it's also the fact that Adyen and Plaid are very similar. Like our number one focus is our customer, right? And you have to be, right? And how to remove that friction, how to make sure it's safe and secure and it's fast and it just works. Again, nobody can bring that but Plaid and Adyen. I'm really excited about this combination of the two.
Can you talk to me a little bit about the traction that you're seeing and how people should be planning for these use cases?
Yeah, I think one use case that we sometimes overlook that's been around for quite some time now is bill pay.
So Trevor, with this new payment method, not only do we need to mitigate fraud, but we also need to think about moving money in real time and the risk of ACH fraud return and other things. How are you thinking about that as we're building this pay by make method?
Yeah, and both of those are equally important to merchants. How to reduce fraud, but also ensure that customer is going to pay with money in their account. And so that first piece, this is where Plaid really brings a ton of value. So the authorization and identity checks are critical for ensuring that fraud is minimized. And then the flip side, will that customer actually have funds in their account? Again, Plaid can check the balance, how much is currently on that account at that time, but also with the Signal product, evaluating transactions real time to predict, can that customer actually pay it when it's time to charge that particular amount?
Making it real time. It's really important to do with the different rails that this payment method is going to ride. So Trevor, another area where we're super aligned is just thinking about how to use the instant payment rails. I mean, today in the US, we now have 3 rails. We have ACH, RTP, and the FedNow service. So in talking to merchants, how are you thinking about what advice to give them and what considerations should they be thinking about?
Yeah, and with all 3 of those rails, the way we're building the product is we're future-proofing against all 3 of them. And so when we initially launch the product, it will be with ACH, which again will be perfect for the continuous bill pay, the subscription examples that are exactly what our customers, our merchants are really demanding. But when we think about in the future, the opportunity for FedNow to really gain traction today, it works for payouts, but it's not quite ready for pay-ins yet. But when it is, we'll naturally plug it in to our solution that provide another alternative. RTP, real-time payments, which the conglomerate of banks own, that is a solution that's definitely farther ahead of FedNow, but still is a little bit nascent in the marketplace. But yeah, the great news is we're gonna make all 3 of those available with the Plaid Adyen solution here, and each one serves a different purpose. Back to really what we wanna accomplish here at Adyen is we wanna make sure that every payment type our merchants want is available to them. So if they want an instant payment, makes great sense if it's a very expensive purchase for online retail, or if they want a subscription, ACH is a perfect example where that really plays a key role. We can offer either one of those in conjunction with Plaid, again, to get that authentication, to ensure that the balance is there. Super, super important.
And even when you think about ACH, I mean, ACH was founded in San Francisco in, the 70s. And so we're 50 years later, and here we are innovating on top of that same rail, but even thinking about moving money in different ways, even faster. So it's been really fun to see the evolution, and I'm really excited to be working with the Adyen team to do it. With this new payment method, what are you most excited about over the next 12 to 18 months as we watch it evolve?
I mean, if you think about what we've been through in our lifespan, seeing the payment ecosystem in the US, how often have we seen change? Not often. I mean, cards have been around for decades. Only recently have we seen buy now, pay later. We've seen wallets, but that's basically it. And so to be able to have an opportunity to introduce this new payment method in conjunction with Plaid is going to be just a fantastic thing for us to watch, to see it grow, to nurture it, to see the adoption of it, and see how it changes the ecosystem, how it changes customer experiences. And I think we focused a lot of our time thinking about the digital space, the online space, but fast forward from that, I can imagine a world too where I take my phone into any retailer and I just tap and pay, where it's not my card funding that wallet, it's actually my bank account, which, by the way, that's how it works in other countries, just not in the US. And so point of sale is going to be the next revolution, the next generation part of Pay by Bank. So I couldn't be more excited to be working on this in conjunction with you.
So Trevor, it's really inspiring to see how well our visions align between Plaid and Adyen. I mean, especially when we're helping support merchants advance their business goals, and with users to be able to adopt a new payment method and spend within their means, and helping the younger generation whose kind of shopping basket is becoming bigger and more important in all of our lives. I just really want to thank you for being here today with me and sharing your insights and your experiences.
By combining our unparalleled connectivity and the power of our network, our goal is to help you create groundbreaking experiences that were once impossible. Layer speeds up onboarding by orders of magnitude, powered by trust and verified data in the Plaid network. Beacon brings new fraud insights so you can prevent account takeovers. The Plaid Consumer Report unlocks entirely new segments of borrowers and gives you the insights you need to confidently approve them at scale. Pay by Bank is now as effortless as credit cards, offering more options and improving margins, while using our risk engine Signal to be confident that the funds will clear. Each of these products are better because they are built on our unique network. They're smarter, more seamless, and more secure. All of these products are powerful alone, but they're even better together. Because they're all built on top of Plaid, you can optimize every facet of a user's financial journey across onboarding, payments, and underwriting. We've only scratched the surface on these announcements. We have a number of deep dive sessions later today that go into greater detail and give you a chance to ask the team your questions. Be sure to check them out. Now I'm going to pass it over to Eric Sager, Plaid COO, for a conversation with Les Whiting of H&R Block.
Thank you for joining me today. I'm joined by Les Whiting. Les is the Chief Financial Services Officer at H&R Block. Les has had an amazing career across financial services and fintech, not only at H&R Block, but prior to that at Wave. Les, welcome.
Thank you, Eric. It's great to be here.
Maybe let's get started with just learning a little bit more about your journey to H&R Block, as well as what you've been up to there over the last couple of years.
Yeah, well, I guess I would start off by saying it's been an unconventional one. And it's an interesting journey of how I got here. I started my career in banking. I consider myself a reformed banker. I spent the most of my intersection of career was always around financial services and really technology. And ultimately led me to into payments, where there was really a lot of innovation at that time happening in payments.
How does all this tie into kind of the broader H&R Block mission?
Yeah, I mean, mission and purpose is always the why, as I like to call it, has always mattered a lot to me. At H&R Block, our purpose and our mission really is to help and inspire our clients and the communities we serve everywhere through the services and the products that we deliver. And when it comes to financial products, we're really focused on building a set of tools and capabilities that can help the average American, frankly, just have access to financial services that can help them be better with their money. And so we're well on our way of doing that.
When you think about all the success that you've had, all the innovation, Spruce in particular kind of comes to mind. I read somewhere that you guys now have 300,000 accounts, hundreds of millions, I think almost $1 billion worth of deposits. What do you think has driven that success?
Well, I think it all starts with just a relentless focus on the customer and always, providing value, to the consumer. We really kind of stepped back and looked at, the things that we were doing and said, what could we do differently? The scale of H&R Block is one of the things that really attracted me as we thought about selling Wave to H&R Block, but also about taking on this new role was just the scale that we could play at. Wave gave the ability to operate at internet scale. H&R Block allows us to operate sort of at a different scale. We've got 6,500 offices across the country. That's more than most of the large banks here in the US. We've got 60,000 tax pros that are hyper-focused in helping consumers at a time of need when they're filing their taxes, and often is usually one of the largest sort of financial events of the year of getting the tax refund, of which 85% of our customers get a refund. And we knew that there was things that we could uniquely do to build products and services that would help those customers at a time when they're thinking about their finances, when they're thinking about where their money should go, and frankly, just leverage our distribution capabilities. And so I think that is, has been the start about how we've been able to build a set of products that really resonate with the consumer and is seeing, strong growth in something that we're super pleased at.
I mean, you have a lot of advantages, and obviously I've had a lot of success with that, but it also opens up a whole new set of competitors.
Yeah, well, first off, I love competition. I think competition drives, innovation. It pushes you to be better. I think the reason why we've been able to be successful is, first and foremost, as you mentioned, the brand. People know and trust this brand. We've been around for, over 55 years. Customers come to us at a time of need when they're looking for help and financial advice. And then, we've got this unique ability and position, in some ways even a responsibility of sitting in the middle of $50 billion of tax refunds.
That's a lot of refunds.
It's a lot of refunds. It's a lot of zeros. We've already got this built-in distribution network that allows us to acquire customers at a very low cost of acquisition. Secondarily, we're able, right at the point of purchase, if you will, when you're filing your taxes and getting that tax refund, to help customers get that refund up to 6 days faster by just putting it into a Spruce account. And then, like any great, technology product, it gives us the opportunity for the customer experience, the tools and the features that we've built. And, we are seeing consistently cohort over cohort as we're advancing the product, the features and the capabilities in it, that it is resonating more and more with them. And that's, another reason why we're seeing the growth in the deposits. It's not just coming from the tax refunds, but it's coming from customers engaging with this product on a more regular basis and starting to use it as their preferred choice for where they bank daily.
That's an amazing success story. You've obviously been a Plaid customer for a very long time. What has your experience been with Plaid over all these years?
We've been dealing with and partnering with Plaid for, I think, close to a decade now. One of the things that I value a lot is partnerships. And one of the things that I often talk with my teams about is that we don't have vendors, we have partners. We pick our partners very carefully. And then there are things that we do as great partners, and there's things that we expect of our partners. And it really all started by the power of the Plaid link that at that point was starting to become ubiquitous across the internet. Consumers were familiar with it, and frankly, the performance of the product was incredible. And it was a massive success. To this day, about 17% of our, what we refer to as our GPV, or our gross processing volume, goes through bank payments. And so that's a huge success for our customers, and it's just another way of sort of leveraging the innovation. Over the years with Plaid, it's incredible to see the growth and the development that you guys have been under in terms of all the new products and services. And so both at Wave and now at Spruce, we continue to consume and use more and more of those about building, great solutions and great products. I think I've learned over the years of trying not to build everything. I think that was maybe some of the lessons learned in sort of some of my earlier, ventures, that find great partners that can help you scale quickly and really focus on your core differentiation with the consumer. As you know, we recently just launched into the Plaid Core Exchange, and it's something that we're super excited about because, this obviously gives, our customers now access to use their Spruce accounts in all the different ways where Plaid is connected across the internet. And so that really strikes to things that matter, deeply to me around open banking and just access to great technology. So we're super excited about that. We launched this product probably 2 months faster than we thought we would in terms of what our product and engineers were telling us. And, as I dug in and what happened? How did we do that? Something that I've consistently heard from teams over the years is that the technology is great, the team is fantastic to work with. The documentation is so well written that it just allows us to bring things to market quickly. And those are things as a leader that you want to hear, that help you know that you're choosing the right partners. And so it's just another great example of a long partnership where we've been developing, I think, great products for consumers and continue to drive innovation in the marketplace.
I mean, I love hearing that. I mean, it's not enough to just build a great product. It has to be a great product that's also easy to use. And so hearing that you and your team were able to kind of use Core Exchange so easily, scale into it so quickly is fantastic. I know you've adopted many new Plaid products over the years. What are the ones that you're most excited about right now? I know CRA, cash flow underwriting is one of the other areas that we've spoken about.
Yeah, well, we're super excited about the future. Spruce is still really a young product. It's been in the marketplace just a little over 2 years. So we're really just getting started. When we look at the health of the consumer, not only our data, but all the things that you're seeing from those in the Financial Health Network and the American consumer is really struggling and they need help. So this year, we recently launched a new loan product called the Emerald Advance Loan. It's a short-term loan product. We launched it in November. We were able to actually acquire almost $400 million in new loans. These are short-term loans, small dollar loans, up to $1,300. So we saw tremendous demand from our consumers and from our customers. So we're super excited about the work that you're doing within the CRA as being a regulated company. That's really important for us. So we were glad to see you make that step. And obviously going digital, really taking our traditional credit models that have clearly served us well, but being able to now augment those with cash flow underwriting is really going to help us take this to the next step that we know will be able to reach more consumers and probably be able to reach consumers that today we're unable to lend to them. At a time of need when the data is telling us loud and clear, customers need help, we're super excited to continue our partnership with you and keep growing.
And that's something we're very excited about as well. I mean, leveraging that cash flow underwriting data to kind of help consumers get better offers, better pricing, and kind of the role that you're playing in that obviously is very important. I think also plays in very well to all the other solutions that you're working on. And then obviously you have the brand and everything else to go with that, right? Like you're a natural entry point for consumers to go to kind of get access to these kinds of solutions.
Yeah, we're super excited. We think we've got a lot of capabilities and we're just getting started.
Well, wonderful. It's really, really nice to have you here, to be able to spend some more time with you. And I appreciate all the insights and thoughts. And of course, we appreciate you being such a long-standing Plaid customer.
We're coming to the close of this session. We hope that you'll join us for our deep dive sessions later today. Thanks again for joining us. We can't wait to see what you build next.